Yeah, very good evening to everyone. I just believe you can hear me clearly. Okay, I want to thank you so much, guys, for making it to the 10th year. One of the students said, Sir, it's so difficult. It looks like it's been 10 years. So that's why I kept this, okay? It looks like it's been 10 years, sir. I say, yeah, if you can do this for 10 days consistently, very, very good. Bahutacha, okay? Very, very good. So you deserve a chocolate for yourself, okay? So you have been consistent for the 10 days. My goodness, you have done amazing. I'm very proud of you, all right? So because of people like you that, I keep doing what I'm doing. So a couple of things, okay? Just today, please take a note of this timing only for today. From tomorrow, we revert back to our usual 7 p.m. So that by 8 p.m. also, I can go for my dinner as well, right? So just for today, okay? Please don't think, okay, why is he shifting the time? All right? Fine. So there are quick things which we will look into. I said I will try to keep the tutorials less than 40 minutes. All right. So I'll try my best to keep it less than 40 minutes because I know for sure, yes, I talk unnecessary things in between, right? Yes. Okay. And very brief. Sorry, don't feel disappointed if I am not going on the GitHub class today. So it was as a request, a request from one of you. Okay. So I'm going to maximize this. So one of you said something, sir, I really want you to look into help me do some stuff. Okay. And so he suggested that I review some of these applications, especially using the concepts of what? Using the concepts of what? Infinite looping, okay? And revisiting something before we actually dive into the programs. And if you check properly, you notice that in between I have started adding content to the page as well. So by tomorrow, I will complete most of the content, okay, on the page, and it will be there, okay, available for you guys. So I will keep this less than 40 minutes, and tomorrow, trust me, the first period, okay, the first 15 minutes, I will dedicate it to completing the GitHub stuff. Now, coincidentally, I have another challenge which I want to address, please. It's called the 50 days of Python programming. That 50 days is for specifically ECE students. Students from, please listen, don't get confused now because I'm getting lots of queries now. 50 days of Python, I want it to coincide with our 11th day of 100. I hope you're getting it. So tomorrow we'll be starting the 1 of 50 tomorrow. Tomorrow is what? Depending on the time you're watching this video, I'm talking about Friday. Okay? Friday in India, it will be 12th, 11, 2021. In case if you happen to watch this video some years later, you start asking, what is it telling actually? So this 1 of 50 is purely for students from ECE. Okay? Now, that doesn't mean other students cannot join. But for them, officially, this challenge ends on the 50th day, starting from tomorrow. That will be your 60th day. And you know that if they exit on the 50th day, if you are with me, we still have 40 more days left. Okay? And this challenge is also open to these students also because they have not lost anything actually. They finish these 50, they can also take these 40 also. So overall, they'll be having 90 days of challenge. This is one thing. Secondly, I have another classes that are going on concurrently. It's called Core Plus Advanced Java class. So this is good if you want to experiment Advanced Java class. If you want to experiment, okay? So here we'll be looking into the core classes. Fine, I'll be completing it in a couple of hours. Then advanced, we look into concepts of servlets, JSP, EJB. And in between, I might look into, I'm not guaranteeing, I might look into Springs, a framework. All right. So I want to clarify this. All right. That tomorrow I want to do this such that both of you will benefit, both in the sense those that are doing this 1 of 50 and 100 days challenge, both of you will benefit. Okay. So that's why I pushed it till tomorrow. I hope that makes sense. Thank you for your understanding. Now, what are we going to do today? Quickly, I will zoom it a bit. So today is the 10th day. Congratulations once again. You are getting stronger by the day. So recall the concept of infinite loop, right? I hope you still remember how you create infinite loops. And what was the concept? I told you that in most cases, you might not actually want to create it, but owing to some unforeseen circumstances, right? You just create it. And you saw how to create that. In case if you don't know, feel free to see the night video, all right? The night video lecture, all right? Now, here I want to introduce you to a concept called the break statement. Fine? Because if you are inside it and let's say you want to exit, all right, there will be a case where you want to exit even before the loop terminates, and that is what we want to look into. Okay, this I've been dealing with example. Couple of things here I have to write some stuff before we get to this. Okay, so quickly call up my notes, and so far it's getting bigger, so we get back here officially. Now we are in day 10 of 100, so we can say yes, 10% done and dusted. And like I said, by day 15, we are almost done with all the core. Then we start with all the advanced concepts. Fine? Now, what are we treating? The break statement. You have seen the syntax, right? Please, why I take pains to write this is to ensure that it's sinking. Think that it is a classroom where I have to teach you and you have to listen. So let's say we have a program. Now, I'm going to use WAP for short. You got the concept? I am running a program, and in between, I want to terminate this. Maybe if the user enters, I want to check whether a string contains, please, you have to modify this using break statement, Victor. And whenever the user enters add, the last element of the string, it should come out of that. Or if the user guesses any of this letter in the string or in the text, Victor, it will just terminate and say, yes, you got the letter. But before we think of this, let's make it simple. I wanted to write a program, okay, to check, okay, if a user enters any number less than what? 0. When this happens, when it happens, what happens? When the user enters that, come out of the loop. That means what? As long as the user did not enter this, stay in the loop. Why are we speaking long grammar? Why are we making long sentences? If a user enters any number less than 0, you know what I'm trying to say, right? Simply negative number, right? Over. When the user enters that, come out of the loop. Now, please listen. You are likely to run into infinite loop here. Please listen. Because all the other numbers that is greater than 0 can never end. Hence, I don't want you to use while loop. Please listen. I don't want you to use while loop because if I enter 10, is 10 greater than 0? Is 10 less than 0? No, 10 is greater than 0. 100. So where is the upper bound? To avoid that confusion, use your for loop, which you are comfortable with now. So you use a for loop. For with what? Range. Say now I want it to only run 5 times. Let's not waste time, right? Why must we just keep checking? Only 5 times. So how do you write this now? For item in what? For item in range of what? 5. I want it to run only 5 times. So you ask the user to enter some stuff. Now, where are we going to use the break? Now you put it here. If whatever the user enters is less than 0, you break out. Remember to indentation. Remember to indent it. Okay? Remember this. And since we are using Python version 3.10 or 3.10, we don't need to worry about it. Okay? Now, this is one case. So with this, we always use else with break statements. Please listen. Use of else in break statement. Use of else in break statement. So a quick commercial here. So I decided actually to stop my Java class, but thanks to that one student who said he's able to follow. the tutorial. Not only one. This is somebody who got in touch with me, and he's actually not from this college. He said, sir, please, your tutorials are helping me to understand the concepts. Just continue. Because in between I said, right, that I'm going to stop if I don't get a number of views. So thank you. And for most of you that are watching, please feel free to criticize my channel. Now listen here. I'm not saying you should go and just start posting things online. No, what I mean is this. You can meet me. You can tell me what I'm doing wrong. Okay? I will also listen and learn from you. All right? End of commercial. Back to what we are doing. So use of else in break statements. So what do we do? Now, let's say we want, remember, in that range which we are checking, right? So we have some stuff. I have all these programs. We are going to execute it now. So in range of what? Say numbers 5 times. I want to check this. Fine. I'll ask the user to enter a number, right? So something like that. So inputs, remember, you know the concept, right? So you say enter whatever. Any number, something like that. Now, when the user enters this number, what are you going to do with it? You make chapati out of the number. So you check if this, remember in the first case, right? What if the number is greater? What are we going to do? We don't know. So if this number is less than a threshold, less than 0, right? So you can actually print a message. Okay? Can't be 0, can't be a negative number, can't be a negative number. So the user will remember, okay, you should have told me, right? You should have told me to enter only positive number. What is this, Baya? You should tell me, you're telling me to enter any number. How will I know that this condition exists, right? Fine. Once this happens, you come out of this loop, right? Otherwise, you do what? Print the number. Excuse me. Otherwise, print some stuff. You got something, what I'm trying to say? Print something. Fine. Okay? So this is what I want you to understand. All right? Cool. Now, next thing. My voice is echoing. So next thing is, you got this concept, right? Fine. Next is, remember one program which we tried looking into, right? Which we call the number guess program. Please listen. Because of those also that are joining from tomorrow, there is a program which we call the number guess program. So that number guess program can be fine-tuned. That's why I said let's revisit this. Okay, let's visit our number guess program. So in case if you are joining for the first time, what is it actually? You want to ask a user to enter a number and repeat this until the user enters that number. But you see, you can actually fine-tune this and give the user hints. Whether the number is too large, or too small. Or when it is too small also, when the user enters something that is closer, you can say very close. Just feel free to play with this. Okay? Now, this is just basic hints. Let's say you don't want the user to run this 100 times. You want to assign tons. Example, when I don't get this within 5 iterations or 5 guesses, you tell me game over. So can we modify this? So you add all this stuff. Say the user, in this case player, whoever is playing the game, has only what? 5 lives. This is like 5 turns. Has only what? 5 chances of playing this game. 5 chances. All right? Now, first thing, this is what the user will do. So after this step 1, please listen. I'm writing specs. After step 1, if the user still did not get this, please listen. Step 1, give the user 5 chances. If the user did not get this, now step 2, throw this hint. Step 2, give hint. Okay? Now you got the hint. This guy or these guys. Fine? Now, if the user finally gets it, step 3, print appropriate message. Appropriate message. What are you going to print? Tell me whether the user gets it right or wrong. So getting it means is a win. Getting it wrong means he has lost. You said, what's that thing they call something something? I can't get the name. Okay. So in PUBG they play. I don't know. Now, looking at this, what can be your text conditions? So we will see that practically now. Okay. So what might be your test conditions? So you might ask the user, please, why I always want you to listen, okay, is for you to develop the logic even before you start coding. During this challenge, I want you to form the habit of logical thinking. Okay? Now, the first thing is not for you to sit on the computer and start coding. You should think how you can actually develop this application, right? And try to do your dry running without even a compiler. Dry run. Fine. So let's say we have something like this. Please listen. There will be test cases. Because as a developer, you should handle all this, right? Test cases. They ask you, did you write test cases for that? Yes, there are automated test cases. I think JUnit also for Java, you can use Selenium also. And I don't know much about software testing, sorry, okay? But you can actually write some functions to test. Example, you ask the user to enter your guess. Now the user enters between, you have to give him a threshold, say between 1 to 50. Now the user enters what? 10? 10. Okay, so what you should tell, you say lower. Please try again. Please try a higher number. Fine. And remember, you might be asking, sir, but what is the number, right? Good question. Good question. Even I don't know the number. If we are going to import random using random int from random model, right? Remember we say from something like that, random. Import random int. So I'm going to randomize this number, right? From 1 to 50 or whatever, okay? Now, if that is the case, then I don't know actually. All of them, I can run this 50 times also. But if you have set guess to be, remember, maybe guess is 43. Please listen. Think that this is not existing. I have set guess to be 43. Please remember it's not equal. It is exactly equal to, okay, you have assigned this to be this, no problem. Now you have to check, right? So first case, 10 is less than 43. That's what you kept. So again, it will repeat. Your guess. Now this time around, the user enters, let's say you did not print 1 to 50, okay? So they say the user enters 80. Since it says try something higher, you now tell, oh, oops, higher. Now try again. Now, finally, the user enters 43 after so many try attempts and stuff, okay? So finally, the user enters 43. Enter your guess again. And this user enters now finally 43. You now say, hooray, you finally got it. Hooray, that's the number. That's the number, okay? Or you concatenate it, hooray, num plus say whatever, num, okay, that guy, comma, I'm confusing it with Java. That is the number, okay? Or you just print some message, that's the number, okay? Fine. Now, the user got it, okay? Now, what you do, you now say you won, something like that, or you won like that. Let's say the user did not get it. After how many attempts? You have to handle this. Go back to the condition. Only 5 chances. So at the end of the 5 chances, you say, sorry, it's a bad day for you. It's a bad day for you. Okay, don't use this word, please. Sorry, you ran out of luck. You ran out of luck. Because if you tell somebody, no, that is a bad day, out of luck, they will beat you, right? Okay? So something like this. Fine. And I want to explain some concepts quickly before we look into this. Okay? So, what is it that I want to explain? This is something that we will be touching tomorrow after we are done with this class. Okay, so that is the concept of what? Using advanced concepts, or using list comprehension to modify this code, to enhance the code. Now, sir, how can we actually use this? Stay put, we will touch this briefly. Okay, now if you know this, okay, we have to leave list for some time, okay, and introduce the concept of dictionary. I will run this, and quickly I want to give you what you can actually read up before we start. And that reminds me, I felt it would be nice, and actually one of you suggested it. Thank you so much. I don't want to tell your name. He's like, sir, can you tell us what we have to do, right, before we get ready for the class? Please, to get the best out of this, I will request everybody, at least now you are comfortable, right? Do some Google search on dictionaries, okay? So that I will not think that you are hearing it for the first time. Please do this, and I will introduce the concept of dictionary, and we go and run our application quickly. So, if I ask you now, based on lists, tuples, and all what we have studied, how do you define a dictionary? Simple question. Based on journey so far, what is a dictionary? We use that in between. Okay, please, can anybody tell me what is it actually? I'm looking at the chat box here, and I cannot see anybody typing anything. All right. Yes, sir, we are using mobile phones, so it's difficult to type. Please think that it is a classroom. Okay. So what is a dictionary? I'm just going to explain briefly, and you read up. Tomorrow we do the implementation. So think that this is kind of what? In brief, it is a what? A more general version. A version of what? A list. So what do I mean by that? Dictionary works on the principle of key value pair. Yes, sir, you are using different braces now. Do you know about this brace? We use this in a list, right? We use that in a 2D list. And we use this also, a tuple. And we also use tuple in a list. Fine. Now, you are seeing this for the first time. So can I write elements in this like 1, 2, 3, 4 like this? Will it work? You got the concept. So if I'm saying it's a kind of a general version of a list, how do I replace it then? So I can actually replace it I can actually write it just like a list. Just like a list. How? Let's say I want to have days of the week. Okay? Say I want to have days of the week. Now, I can say it's Monday, something like this, Tuesday, whatever, down, no problem. But this is not a dictionary. It is a list. Now, if I want to prototype this now, let's say I want to say that in this, what is the value for it to be a dictionary? The key is the first element in that, and the next is, for the following that is the value of the key. Say example, Monday is the first day of the week. Monday is the first day of the week. It's of string, it's of type string, right? Monday is the first day. Got it now? Comma. Tuesday is the second day. So if it is becoming lengthy, you can write like this also, no problem. Tuesday is the second day. Wednesday is the third day. Such that if I reach maybe like Sunday, Sunday is the seventh day. Got the concept? Fine. With this, if I ask you now to get the number of days of the day, say in which day is, what is the value of Monday? You can say it is 1. Generally, if I extend this to how many days, because it might not make sense now, are there in a particular month? You got the concept? Now, to answer that question, you can actually use the concept of your dictionary. Hence, we can modify this to look like this: days, in which we have 30 days of September. In Nigeria, we have a song like that: 30 days of September, April, June, and November. April, June, okay, I don't know. I should write it like this, the way we say it in Nigeria: 30 days of September, April, June, and November. All the rest has 31. So this is 30. All the rest has 31 except February, which has 28 or 29 in each leap year. Fine. Now, these ones, I can actually populate it, right? And then say that, okay, Jan has what? 31. Feb, comma, has something. Such that if I ask you how many days are there in February, you can say 28 days or 29 in each leap year. And we get to know how we actually pick the elements from this list. Fine. So creating it is very simple. So what we just did is how you create a list. Creation of list, or creating a list. Creation of a list. Fine. And if you now want to choose, let's say, sorry, why am I calling it a list? I'm really sorry, guys. Creation of a dictionary. Did I confuse you guys? Please, sorry. We are talking about dictionary. Please don't get confused, please. Sorry if I mispronounced things in between. Okay. So, if you know that list, okay, the concepts of list, you can actually modify that, right? Can you also modify the contents of dictionary? Obviously. So how do you access it? That will lead us to accessing a dictionary. So we check here. Let's say, how do you access a dictionary? You access them based on their keys, not on values. Accessing a dictionary. As a list, you access them based on what? Dictionary. You access a list based on what? Index value. So you can think that the index value here is your what? Your key. Such that if we have a simple dictionary, say this is a simple dictionary called DICT, which contains, say, Jan, like that we have seen, Jan, then with a value of 31, fine. And then maybe we have Feb with a value of maybe like 28, like that. So if I want to, if I just say dict of what? Dict of what? In using the concept of your list, you know, right, in square bracket or array index location of Jan. Okay. So it will return 31. Fine? Cool. And with this, we can actually mutate this because obviously it is mutable, meaning you can modify the content, right? Unlike tuples, right? So we can actually mutate this, okay? Hence, if I want to change this now, say I want to say, oh, sorry, let me use February. Dict of Feb, it is now 29 days. It's no longer 28, right? Feb is now 29 in the leap year, okay? I can actually assign this value to be what? 29. And that takes it. Fine? Now, if you try this with list, right? I showed you that there is a way you can modify it with list. Don't say, sir, no, lists are immutable. There's a way we can modify it. In case you've forgotten, just go back and you check, okay? And you can actually use the operator called delete operator also. So this, is a function, right? So you can actually use that, a method, okay? Methods actually are used interchangeably in Java. We call Java methods of functions, no problem. So if I want to delete this now, right? So I will say delete dict of what? Feb, right? Feb. I need to delete that value. Okay. So some people say it's a delete operator. Fine. They say it's a delete, but you got the point. Then deletes. Fine. And since we can create an empty list or empty string, can we create an empty dictionary? Can we? Remember how we started that the dictionary is just like your list. So if I can create an empty list, I can also create an empty dictionary. This is an empty dictionary, and this is an empty list. This is an empty list. Fine. Good. So on this note, I want to stop and do some demo. so that I will not overshoot. I have another 7 minutes left, right? So what will be your assignments quickly before I forget? Look at the manipulation of dictionaries. Just read up dictionaries. And I'm going to give you another assignment now. Read up dictionaries and get ready for tomorrow. Okay? And I want many of you to ask questions. Even if while the session is over, please feel free to ask. So quickly, let's get to this. So I have it here, and this is my day 10. Okay? We record first thing the concept of your infinite loop. All right, what do you mean by an infinite loop? You know, and how do you create that? You know, in case if you forgot, please feel free to see the day 9 of our challenge. And the break statement we are going to do the else and revisit the guessing program, and you get involved. And I'm going to tell you also what you can actually do to make this program better. Now we explained this program, right? Okay, for this in the range, enter this. And I always tell you, try using also what? In statement. And if I ask most of you that are joining us for the first time, do you know the difference between this int method versus the eval method? Can you tell? Okay, because I use most of them interchangeably. Now this is what we want to do, and as soon as I enter any number less than 0, it breaks out. F5. Okay, save it. One screen at a time. Enter a number. Now you did not tell me what to enter, right? So I'll enter 7. Enter another number. How many times will it run? You saw it, right? So you see it now practically. So maybe I enter 10. Maybe I enter 12, 14, okay. Then maybe I enter 0. Why can't I enter 0? Now, so it has run 5 times and it terminated. You got the point? It concluded the 5 iterations and then it terminated. Fine? Now, we don't need to print this norm actually, but I just want to print that so that you know the last value which it accepted. Next, let's make this condition to come out then, because we did not use the concept of break there, right? You saw it. So I'm going to run this quickly. F5. Now, I will enter 6. First iteration done. Now, enter minus 6. Now, it comes out and it prints this value. Okay. So, you can decide also not to print that and say out of the loop. You got the point? Something like this. So, because of this, I now said, okay, fine. Let's try to modify this program. Comment this guy out, and then we are here. Okay. So, this is the second one. I'm going to comment out the rest. Fine. Okay, so this is it, the second one. All right, now this you can actually do using your while loop. Fine. Okay, so the first case I use this. Please look at this. The first program can also be done using while loop, because in the first one we used for loop, right? And in the while loop, to ensure that you don't go and get what? Infinite loops. You have given the range. This looks like your range function, right? Similar to your range function. So I'm not going to execute this, but you got the concept. This is similar to your range function. I'm explaining this code, right? So as long as the number is less than that, okay, why don't I show you maybe if you want to see? Fine. Okay, take this guy out and then close it there. Okay. So you see this, enter this, but I'm not going to print anything, right? You got the point. So as soon as I enter any number that is less than 0, okay, then it will come out of the loop, but I'm not printing anything here. So quickly, let's see this. Okay, enter a number. Now I'll say 6. It will keep running, right? 7. Let's get the true condition. 9, 10. No problem. This is fine. Okay, maybe this. Then until I enter minus 7, it will come out of the loop. Fine, it comes out. That is all we have here. Okay, I'll close this. Remove this guy and let's proceed. Now, on this third one, we want to use the else statement in this, right? So if you entered something, please listen. As long as it's in this range, okay, you have to keep accepting the number. And at the end, you say you entered all the 5 values. Now, first thing, okay, if the person enters any number that is less than 0, hey, I stopped early. You got the point? Fine. So I don't want to go beyond 40 minutes, please. So this I want you to execute, okay? And you have to see the conditions as well. So let me look into something that interests me, which is this part, our number guess program, okay? Now, so in this case, remember I said two things you can do, right? Set the guess to be a secret number. Set your secret number to be something. Say I set my secret number to be 10. So in this case, I don't need to choose random number from 1 to 100. And I don't want to sleep here. So I'm going to reduce it to only 10. So I set my secret number to be 10. Okay, this is not going to run. But anyway, from random, I'm implanting what? A random number, which you know it can be from 1 to 10. I don't know what the number will be for now. Initial guesses obviously is nothing. All right? Initial guesses obviously is nothing. Initial guess is nothing. And the number of guesses also is nothing. But I don't want this guy to go beyond what? 4 times. Okay? So let the person guess. Now look here. Enter the number, which must be between 1 to 10. I cannot sleep here. Fine. Now, after that, you didn't get it, increase it. If the guess is less than secret number, what's the secret number? Who knows? The secret number is put from here. So remove this to avoid confusion. Let's say initially it is 5. So you get that. Fine. Lower, if the number is less than, please look here. If it's less than this, you say is that. Okay, so for this, since I'm actually using less than 4, okay, enter this case, it will run this much time. If number is exactly equal to 5, and guess, please listen. If number of guesses, you have guessed 5 times. Remember, I'm starting from 0 guesses. Please look here, 0 guesses to less than equal to 4. You can also do this less than 5, so it will run 4 times still. I hope you got the concept. 0 to less than 5, we run 5 times. That is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or you say 0 to less than. Why I'm showing this is I want you to experiment, please, and come back with your findings. So this will run that number of times. So, and then whatever I guessed was not equal to my secret number. Man, done. You did not get it, and you end this. Okay. So I'll run this quickly, and I will wind up with this. Fine. So what are we doing? So 1 to 10. Let me say 7. Ouch. Lower. Guess. Get 4 guesses left. Please look here. 1 is knocked off. 4 guesses is left. Okay. 3 guesses left. Okay. Okay. 6. 2 guesses left. What? Oh, sorry, guys. Did you notice here? Please look here. Now I'm seeing this. Look here, guys. It keeps printing lower, right? It keeps printing lower. So, but I entered a larger number. Please look here. I just found this. It's very interesting. Now, I will debug this, but I also want you to debug it. Okay? Quickly, tomorrow I will only show that in 2 minutes, and we start with our GitHub class. But look at this. This, I'm just printing the wrong message. Got the point? So, let me say it's taking me higher. I'll just enter 2. Now, you saw the point, right? Please, guys, listen. In case of higher, I'm printing lower. In case of lower, I'm printing higher. I hope you got the point. So modify this mistake. Now, only 1 guess left. Okay, so this is supposed to be 5 then. Maybe I'll enter 5. Okay, enter your guess. I don't know why it's hanging now. Yeah, 3. You nailed it. Wow. Okay, so you see. All right. So the number was 3. Okay. So what I want you to do, modify this and print the message accordingly. Look at the code. So you nailed it. Congratulations, bro. Okay. So this is a very basic thing which you have done. So what I want you to do, look at this and think what I did wrong here. You got the point? And just modify it. It's just looking at you here only. That's all. All right. Fine. So on this note, let's quickly understand what went down in this class. So being our 10th day, we were able to at least do justice looking back, okay, to the previous class, and we had this, okay. So let's see if we completed that. You know the concept of infinite loop, and you know how to create it. While through the simplest way, print something, say hello. We did that, right? Hello, no problem. Now the break statements, you have seen it, and you have seen the reason why we actually use break statements, and you have seen the use cases as well. Fine. Now you know the use of the else statement also, right? This also done. And look at the guess program now, right? Which has become more improvised. Okay. And what do I want you to do? If you know, read up. If you can do it, read up. I know most of you are overburdened, but if you dedicate another 30 minutes, you can actually read up something on dictionary. Yes or no? You can actually try setting up your own GitHub if you know. You can actually try improving this program. Improve the guest program. And that's it for now. This assignment it shouldn't take you more than 2 hours actually. Say if you want to read slow, if you're a slow learner like me. All right. So on this note, I want to thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. And like moving forward, I will try not to go beyond 40 minutes. Right? Thank you so much, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye for now.